Panhandle residents are still rebuilding their homes that were left behind in ruins by Hurricane Michael almost a year ago. The rebuilding process is expected to last several more years, but reports show homeowners are still getting hit, with squatter crimes on the rise. Many of the thousands of locals left homeless since the storm are now resorting to illegal ways to take shelter.
Before the hurricane, people were in their homes, but since the hurricane, we have a lot of homes that are they're not able to be occupied. So we have people that they're looking for a place to lay their head, they're looking for a roof over their head, or just a dry place to get out of the weather at times, and they just look for anything they can get into, and so they start squatting.
Springfield Police Chief Barry Roberts and Assistant Chief Russell Voiles took us inside a few vacant homes recently overtaken by squatters.
This is rather unique. The power is somehow on. We don't know how, we can't figure out how. Gulf Power says it should not be on, and will be sending someone out here to figure out why and get it turned off. But they also had the water on illegally here. The Bedroom Society house, they had padlocks on the doors, so it was more than one person staying here. There's stuff written on the walls about, I'll kill you. Nobody's supposed to be in this home.
The house is livable, but you have folks that have gone in there that don't live there and are causing damage to it, and the homeowner's in the process of trying to sell it, so all they're doing is making it more difficult for her to sell it and someone to get in here and fix it up.
Although they do have certain property rights, Voiles walks us through authorities' very first step in removing a squatter from an abandoned building.
Code enforcement came out and put a unsafe structure sign up, which also has a no trespassing warning on it. And what that does is that gives us authority at that point to go in and remove anybody inside, because you've been inside, it's obviously unsafe to be in there. It's a nuisance to have people sleeping in these buildings, but it's a bigger safety issue for them being in there. If the building collapses and they're inside, we're not necessarily going to expect for anyone to be in there. So what we do is we come back and we'll take spray paint and actually mark the buildings with spray paint saying no entry, unsafe structure. And again, that gives people warning before they go into it, and gives us the authority to go in there and remove them from the building.
Roberts says they've made many arrests in Springfield.
So squatting, it has become an issue. We've made several arrests already for squatting. I can tell you one apartment that I recall right off the top of my head, we went to it with the owner of the apartment building, and she was like, this apartment's vacant, but there's people in it, the locks have been changed. And when we spoke to the guy, he was actually a fugitive sex offender out of Jacksonville. So that's the kind of folks that we're attracting right now, because the hurricane has left a lot of work to be done, and folks are flooding here to work, but they're not all professionals, so they're looking for anywhere to stay.
Right here in my hand, I'm holding 5 police reports I pulled from Bay County Sheriff's Office, all happening in the month of July, right here in Bay County. And what's alarming to me is that most of these cases are all starting out with someone opening up their home to someone else to do yard work, home repairs, house improvements since the storm. And Laura Schoonover, well, she's just one of the many who have fallen victim.
There was debris all around my house, and I needed it removed, and it was just going to be like a huge undertaking. There was trees that were down in the backyard and things that I couldn't handle on my own.
Schoonover later met a man claiming he was a debris removal specialist and hired him to clean up her yard.
So he came here and he needed a place to stay for a few days until he could find a new place, and he was already in the works of getting a new place with a roommate. And so I wasn't living here. Well, 3 days turned into a week.
She notified the police, and the man has since been removed from the property. She's able to laugh about it all now, but admits she had to learn this the hard way.
Your home is your sanctuary. Just don't open it up to anybody. Don't open your door, because, it's easy to open your door, but it's hard for it to close your door once you open it. I'm such a giving person. I think he just looked at that and said, you know what? I can just stay here, and I can have an easy, comfortable living here. And if it takes your 6 months to kick me out, then at least I have 6 months of free housing.
For News 13, I'm Amber Spradley, Panhandle Strong.